Hi, and welcome to my presentation on the workforce trends for workforce education. My name is Melissa Sadler-Nitu, and I'm specifically focusing on the San Antonio region in my presentation and trends research. This research is intended for the executive director of Workforce Solutions Alamo and his leadership team. So give me just a moment and I'll share my screen with you and get the presentation started. This is our presentation for workforce trends. Digital trends for workforce development. My name is Melissa Sadler-Nitu, and I'm the managing director and a doctoral student for University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley. Digital directions for the Workforce Investment Board, specifically Workforce Solutions Alamo, are one that our centers are working with Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Title I that comes from the Department of Labor, DOL. We in the Alamo region have taken a sector-based approach, and you can see that from our website. And here's just a few examples of the sectors: might be construction, IT, cybersecurity, hospitality, healthcare, education, manufacturing. Those are just to name a few. But the bottom line is there are target demand occupations. Digital solutions to the workforce development population with barriers to success, including COVID-impacted individuals. And what that really means is that we're focused on individuals that have difficulty becoming employed. And here are some of the emerging trends that I have researched and found that are related to workforce education and training that will help people get into these very not just high demand, but target demand occupations, meaning they will lead to a living wage. So here's the problem. The post-pandemic Workforce Solutions Alamo will need to help clients update or change from their career acquired skill sets. One of the pandemic trends that we see in the 310,495 to date Workforce Solutions Alamo unemployment claimants is that 60% have a high school completion or less in terms of education. So that's really like 186,000 people have a high school diploma or less. So post-pandemic institutions of higher education are grappling with the ability to offer engaging online learning solutions. Meanwhile, WSA needs accelerated digital solutions, either in-house or through providers, to support hiring employers requiring middle skills. Workforce Solutions Alamo will need to understand the educational gaps of post-pandemic job seekers and opportunities available to accelerate earning power within a career pathway. Understanding the possibilities can help WSA plan for future technology resources, thus giving clients access to all available opportunities. So in analyzing the trends in technology and workforce education, I revealed that there was about 4 different areas really emerging from all of the research. And that was areas of career pathways, digital badging, online learning, and virtual reality. What I found with the career pathways is this term's been in play for quite some time. And so I don't really see that specifically as a trend or an emerging trend. It's something that has already been legislated and implemented in the United States. Online learning is another one of those areas where it is really already implemented, but the 2 digital badging and virtual reality began to stand out as emerging trends that look like it's worth some more investigation for the workforce. So my research, the methodology was that I had to due to the pandemic, had to do most of my research from the desktop. That was looking at online information, communicating via email and on Zoom with some of the trendsetters and some of the interest groups. I attempted the crowdsourcing through Microsoft Teams. The Microsoft Teams has the ability to be open for the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley, so it remains open. Set up different channels that focused on the career pathways, on the digital badging, on the virtual reality. And as I found information, I started putting it into these channels. My hope would be that as we look at this over time, other students will join on this Teams and continue to collect the information as it's relevant to what they do in education. So I'll keep that remain open beyond this project. I also enlisted a workforce focus group of digital product innovators. And I asked them for an interview and participation. And we talked about things that they were seeing in the field, both pre and during pandemic. Can't say post yet. Virtual reality pilot program, product and test. Our company was able to, during this time, really push through to our leadership the idea that we could do a pilot test with some of the virtual reality products. So we did get to test out the actual products and talk to the vendors who are making the products and begin a pilot program in the organization. So let's start with digital badging and micro-credentials. This is probably not going to be a foreign concept to most of you. However, I wouldn't say everyone is doing it or that everyone is doing it in the same way. I saw a variety of ways that people were using digital badging and micro-credentials. So let's just talk about some of the pros and the cons. The pros for digital badging is that it adds validity to a skill. So, you know, it's one thing to walk into an employer and say, hey, I really know how to type well, probably I'm typing at 60 words a minute, versus having a badge that validates through some sort of assessment that's recognizable to the employer that I actually can type at 60 words per minute. So another pro is that it creates an electronic portfolio to support a resume. I think that might be really valuable more so in the future. I'm not sure that all employers see it right now, but I certainly think that taking a portfolio along with a resume will help any job seeker validate their skills. So this just gives another dimension to that. Many employers will recognize some of the certified industry credentials. And research reveals this trend the strongest in the health, information technology, manufacturing, and business fields. And finally, digital badging can act as a form of gamification. It gives a sort of gratification to people once they've achieved something. It really validates what they can do. So it can be a big confidence builder and also be fun to achieve. Some of the cons. Due to the emerging trend, not all employers are going to recognize this. I kind of touched on that earlier. Needs to be verified by a credible source. Difficulty establishing comparative value, like how do I know that the skill that you got a digital badge in is actually the one that you're going to need here in this company type of thing. And technology requirements and digital platform is an investment. So virtual reality and workforce training, some of the pros here. It creates an enhanced experience as if the person is at the location. It's more comprehensive appraisal of the student's abilities because we're really looking at how students can move and function in the environment beyond just what they can read and write and circling the right answers type of thing. Improved educational experience by making learning more interesting. It's good for training that requires physical tasks. And then also it connects to more people of specific interest. Some of the cons. Currently, there are limited experiences for workforce training due to the new technology. Technologies can be costly, making it difficult to obtain. It could be addictive, and I think there's still some research on this. More importantly, it can cause nausea with poor quality technology or people who are prone to motion sickness. It is not reality, I think, is the other issue. I mean, so there's only, if I pick up a pen, I can feel the pen in my hand. In the virtual reality, I can see this pen in my hand, but I can't really feel the pen in my hand. So to an extent, it's not reality. So proposed educational technology for Workforce Solutions Alamo. After looking at all of the evidence, I have selected a blended virtual reality and online learning career pathway training that includes micro-credentialing in the form of digital badges. Badges will enhance job seeker resumes and help placement for target demand occupations. So really, I think what we're saying here is that imagine building a career pathway from the beginning to where you really need to begin getting a formal education, and we could look at micro credentials along the way, and some of them are going to be on the PC that you look at, and some of them are going to be actually in the virtual reality. And so the virtual reality product that I'm looking at actually creates its own digital badge for the pathways it has, along with the digital badges that can be collected in a regular platform that offers over like 8,000 different types of credentials. So evidence for the digital badging trend. Local technology movement to use digital badging. I have found a lot of different digital badging, and I tried to kind of reduce it to the local area, so what we could see already happening, and potential partners. So the University of Texas, San Antonio had probably one of the most interesting digital pathways. It's completely free. And through online sessions, learners develop interconnected skills and earn digital badges, which can be added to LinkedIn, portfolios, and social media. Career Builder badges are open to San Antonians and include Job Seeker and Leadership Series. So it's powered by Credly. And that's a large platform that offers digital badges. Upskill program is a Good Careers Goodwill San Antonio system built by the local community college, Alamo Colleges, in collaboration with Palo Alto College and National Nonprofit Education Design Lab, and with a grant from Walmart. I think you have to be a Goodwill candidate, though, to actually go through this program. Unlike the University of Texas, it's open and free to anybody. Randolph Air Force Education is using a San Antonio UP partnership under the Force Development Umbrella Air Education and Training Command's Credentialing Division. It has partnered with industry and academia to test digital credentialing or badging process for individuals within the Air Force learning professionals, bio, environmental, and first sergeants communities. Northeast Independent School District has a little bit different take. They're doing district technology badges powered by Seesaw. And this is really designed more for the teacher professional, and it offers 8 digital badges for teachers, admin, and faculty to earn. Edgewood Independent School District is offering something similar. Didn't say what it was powered by, but it is, again, a professional development for the entire staff. However, what I thought was interesting is that 10 badges for the when an employee accomplishes 10 badges, there's an actual reward that the district gives for this accomplishment. And they were displaying that on the web. So Workforce Solutions Alamo can be the convener of valid digital badgers and work towards a two-way information about badging to employers. They can be, they can be the organization that explains what this badging system from educators actually can do for an employer. Evidence of virtual reality trends in the workplace. So this was, I would say, way more cutting edge to an extent. We don't really have a lot of locals doing much of anything in this. I had to go national to find the trend. So this is really the more emerging trend. We found cutting edge job preparation programs such as the Walmart Academy in partnership with Jobs for the Future, a national organization that focuses on workforce education. And they're using a virtual reality training. PwC research from another article found that employees that learned soft skills were 4 times faster. They learned the soft skills 4 times faster and were 175% more confident in applying the skills, 4 times more focused than their e-learning peers. So, I mean, right there, I think that research probably needs a little bit more research to validate it, but that's going to be a pretty amazing finding there, even if it's not quite at 275%. Cyber sickness solutions. So one of the downsides that people have really reported with virtual reality is some cyber sickness, but I guess I would equate that to, when cars, not that I was around, but when cars were first on the market and people experienced a lot of motion sickness the first time they were in cars, I would say this is a similar type of effect. So very few people get motion sickness in cars today, while there still are some. I think you'll see people acclimate more and more to the virtual reality and see less of the motion sickness. However, for people who are really prone to motion sickness, there is vestibular rehabilitation, and it's a therapy that helps your brain correspond. And so you can get actually a therapist that can help you set treatment goals if this is a real problem. Purdue University using virtual reality to support manufacturing skills. A Purdue team has entered into a $5 million cooperative agreement with the National Science Foundation, which is no easy feat, to create an augmented and virtual reality experience prototype called Skill XR. So we'll be interested to see what that looks like in the future. And most recently, VR is being explored as a way to treat military veterans for PTSD. That is happening in our local San Antonio area. And the technology leverages a well-known behavioral treatment for PTSD called exposure therapy. So how does this apply to our specific problem? Well, the way we can use this is the specific problem for many clients entering the workforce, especially in San Antonio, have not acquired the middle skills that they're going to need for the jobs that have really the living wage. So employers in the Alamo region have difficulty filling job openings because we have a lot of people on the job seeker market that don't have the qualifications or haven't validated their qualifications to enter the workplace. And they're going to need to quickly obtain certifications required to do these jobs. So my thought is that there is the combination of the e-learning with the virtual reality. So the e-learning renders a form of digital badges. The virtual reality job training renders a kind of hands-on experience. And the combination of the hands-on learning environment and the target demand occupational skills certifications is going to be that winning combination that can quickly get people to the next level. So here's a scenario. As you can see here in the photo, the gentleman is in his virtual reality environment and he's doing something with his hands. Well, so, it's one thing to go on the e-learning and understand the math behind using these tools and what it can do and the leverage and all that kind of stuff. But it's another to be able to actually apply the application to actually know what the tool does and use your hands for it. In the cost analysis, of course, this is for the technology only. And I say that because when I go through this cost analysis, please keep in mind that I think an implementation process is going to require some payroll costs as well. The Oculus virtual reality headset and transfer curriculum all access, I was able to get a quote that would be that would include 12 Oculus headsets and cases, 600 customer logons comes with that for the year, so that you get the headsets, and I guess that's the organizations to keep, and then the logon that happens inside the headset, you get 600 logons for 1 year, and that comes out at $60,000. It also comes with some protective washable pieces to be safe in COVID. Job Ready is a digital badging platform that combines like Credly, Skills 180. It has 4 different Harvard certification. It has about 4 different platforms put together, and you go in through the Job Ready digital platform, and one person can access as many curriculum program certification preparation programs that they want to for a year, and that's $250 a person. So assuming that you would get 100 unique users, I price that out at $25,000. The industry recognized certifications, that is a separate cost from the Job Ready digital badging platform. So it's one thing to get the curriculum, it's another thing to actually go and sit for one of the certification tests that are official, and things like CompTIA, Microsoft, things like that. So they average out at about 100 per test. Some are more, some are less. At 75 unique exams, that would come out at $7,500. My Inner Genius aptitude test, this is an IBM test. It is connected to the Job Ready digital badging, but it's also something that can be purchased independently. Comes in at about $25 a test. It scores people's interest and aptitude together and gives them a 4-page summary of what they would be good at and what areas they should consider going into. So that's $25 a test, assuming we could test 300 people, that come out to $7,500. And finally, that would bring us to total technology costs at about $100,000 a year. So I realize that that is a kind of a hefty price, but when you think about all the experiences, so going into virtual reality, you might get to go into an environment that as a class we couldn't possibly afford the liability or the transportation to take an entire class over to experience what they can experience inside the headset. Proposed implementation process. I would propose that it would take about 3 months to implement at least and get to the pilot phase. So the first part of this is I would suggest a virtual center for the workforce. Specifically, a virtual reality center manager would lead the procurement of the products and identify champions in their organization that would focus on implementation, mainly repurposing existing employees that have found an interest and want to be part of this. So the organization would identify subject matter experts outside the organization that they could contract with, and these SMEs could develop professional development and training products that would help an organization implement. SMEs deliver live and recorded professional development. And it's better live, but if it has to be reviewed again, they could have these recordings, and that would be probably the most cost-effective way for an organization to implement at all levels. The pilot in one center would start an implementation maybe for 1 month, look at any challenges, and also glean some best practices for implementation in other areas. Next, refine the product with the vendor as needed after the pilot, and then finally, full implementation. So the summary is that, trends show that digital badging and the use of virtual reality will be a cutting edge and economical way to deliver target demand occupation training in safe environments. Developing career pathways with stackable badges in blended format is the concept. The blend is the online PC participation rendering micro badging and skills blended with hands-on virtual reality digital badges. Badges are recognized by career counselors to support better job placement. And finally, business services work with employers to build a consensus around digital badges for shared understanding of the meaning and as it's applied to the workplace. The following are my references. Which will also be available afterwards. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I will stop sharing now. Again, thank you for taking time. And you can reach me on email through the University of Texas. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And I will see you next time. Thank you.